Hello and welcome to another Left Seat Culture video. My name is Dale, and again another video back from the archives. I think it's around January 2022. I often get mixed up with when I took the different exams, but I think this was my fourth exam as part of my PPL ground school, so communications exam. And in this video again I'm going to talk to you through my experience. So if you're doing your PPL ground school exams right now, hopefully this experience helps and is of some benefit to you. Enjoy. So I am back from doing my communications exam as part of my UK CAA private pilot's licence ground school exams. So in this video I'll just give you an update on how I got on, my revision method, and hopefully it's something that can help you. Okay, so Happy New Year, depending on when you're watching this. So it's January 2022, and I set myself a goal of before the 11th of January 2022, which is when my EasyPPL access for this course ran out, I would try and take the exam. So 7th of January, I went and sat the communications exam, and as you can see here, I passed. I got 83%. which means I failed 2 of the questions, and as usual it says on the bottom here not what the questions were, but the category of questions. So 090.02.01.04. So if we look on the information on the CAA website, 090 is under General Operating Procedures and Transmission Technique. Now, I can't quite think what question might that relate to. There was 3 questions which I'll come on to in a moment that I wasn't 100% confident on in the exam based on how the questions were worded. And the second one was 090.04.01.00. and that one is under the distress and urgency procedures and distress definition frequencies, watch of distress frequencies, distress signal and distress message. Now there was one in there about when you're making a practice mayday call. I'm pretty sure I answered that correctly, but perhaps I didn't. So I passed though, anything over 75% and you're good to go. So 83%, that's another exam done and dusted, out of the way. So as per usual, my standard revision process is as follows. I mentioned before I bought some Pooley's books off eBay. The communications one is actually quite an old one from 2013. Even called radio telephony. I think it's just called comms now, like the exam. So I read through all of this book. So again, as mentioned in previous videos, I'm sure there are changes and updates that have happened since this book was published, but I got it cheap. So I read through all the book when I don't want to be on the computer. And then I move over to EasyPPL, which is the current up-to-date online learning mechanism. If you decide to use EasyPPL, please put Dale Pearson in the referral, much appreciated. But if I look at my stats for the communications course on EasyPPL Ground School, I spent 4 hours, 3 minutes and 15 seconds doing course study times. That's going through the slides, kind of reading over anything I'm not too sure about. And then I spent 3 hours, 10 minutes and 53 seconds doing their mock exams. So that's a combination of the exams at the end of each kind of area and then doing the actual final mock exam a few times. So a total of 7 hours, 14 minutes and 8 seconds plus the reading of this book. And so if I look at the exams, so there was 12 communication test pieces that I did, and then that equates to 115 questions, and then I did the kind of final exam test 26 times, which resulted in 520 different questions. So in terms of how the exam actually went, so the communications exam, you have 20 minutes to do it, and there are 12 questions. I spent 7 minutes doing the actual exam. again, the reason for that 7 minutes might sound pretty quick. Again, if you know the material, I was getting 95 and 100% pretty much most times in the EasyPPL ground school at the end, which is when I thought I was ready to do it. But there was 3 questions that I wasn't sure of due to the wording. So there was one about how do you address an air to ground communications on a certain frequency. I thought it was information, that you'd say, hey, Birmingham information as an example. But then, and I think that was the answer, but then when I came back to it, it was playing on my mind that is this a really weirdly worded question, and actually the answer is in the question. So it says air ground, so actually is it ground? So I actually changed my answer to ground. So I think that's one of the questions I got wrong out of the 2. So that may be that reference to the communications piece. Then there was 2 other questions. One of them was around when you should reach out to air traffic control in the event of having radio frequency issues or radio issues. None of the 4 multiple choice questions actually were worded in the way that I thought would be the answer, but I went for the one that was the closest to basically advising the air traffic control people as soon as it becomes available, you become aware of an issue. So again, not worded the way that I was expecting it to be, but again, I think I may have got that one right. And then the last one was related to ATIS. Now, I know what ATIS is, I know what it stands for, I know what it's used for, but again, none of the 4 questions for me were a very clear definition of the textbook example. So I just went for the one that basically said that it provides routine automated information in terms of arrival and departure stuff. So that was the one that I thought was closest to the correct answer. So that was it. So pretty uneventful. Happy enough with 83%. Just shows you only got get 2 wrong. So I think you can basically get 3 questions wrong in these exams where you've got obviously the 75% mark and 12 questions. But hopefully that helped. Again, if you've got any questions or comments or feedback, leave that down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. After this exam, my next step is on to the MET exam, so the meteorology stuff. So thanks for watching. Hope again that these videos in this kind of PPL ground school series is helpful. Please consider liking and subscribing. If you haven't done already, press the notification bell. Also, if you're interested in any Left Seat Culture merch, there is now a merch shop available. You can get caps, beanies, hoodies, mugs, all different sorts of stuff. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. If I'm really lucky, I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself and goodbye for now.